So when it comes to anime characters, people are going to have preferences to one character or another for whatever reason. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about my favorite female characters, and I will follow this video up sometime soon with my favorite male characters. But this video is all my opinion, so if you disagree with me on any of the characters on this list, then let me know, and you can also tell me your list. I would love to see that. But with all that being said, let's get right into the video. So first up on the list is a character that is very well loved inside of her series' community, and that character is Noelle Silva. She is such an incredible character who has so much development throughout the story of Black Clover that it is hard not to like her. At first, she can be a little annoying with her tsundere attitude, but once you really get into her character and we start exploring why she acts the way she does, it becomes a lot less annoying. Plus, she also grows as a person more than any other character in Black Clover. She starts off as a really arrogant noble, but she quickly gets humbled by Asta, who is a person with no magic whatsoever. Noelle's entire journey has been a journey to accept herself and accept what has happened to her. She has to forgive those who have wronged her in the past if she is to move forward, and she is able to move forward. Not only as a person, but her magic moves forward as well. She grows to be honestly probably the third strongest mage of her generation and in the top 10 in the series. She is extremely powerful and knows how to use her magic now, which was one of her biggest struggles throughout the show. She could never really control her powerful magic. Noelle is such a great character to see on screen. I love seeing her growth as a character and seeing how far she develops, and it makes for a really great journey to go on. So the next character on the list is Yona from Yona of the Dawn. She is such an incredible character for so many reasons. At the beginning of the series, she is an annoying spoiled brat who has never had to struggle for anything before. That's not her fault, that's just her life. However, this left her ignorant to the world and the struggles of her people. But when she lost everything, she had to grow, and boy did she grow. Her character development is godly. Like, she is a completely unrecognizable person from the beginning to the end of the story. She has learned to understand people, she has learned to defend herself and rely on others. She is still strong-willed, but in the right ways. She isn't just some ignorant brat anymore. She is a woman who has been through suffering and understands a lot of pain. And the best part about her character is that she keeps growing. She doesn't ever want to go back to being that weak, spoiled girl that she was at the beginning of the series, so instead, she's always working to improve herself. Her relationships with the main boys in the group is also really cool. You can see why each one of them cares about her a lot, and we get to see that development unfold in the best way possible, but not turning into some kind of weird harem situation, and instead just making them a group of powerful warriors who all happen to like the same woman. And I don't blame them. Yona is great. For all the reasons I have brought up in this section of the video, Yona is a woman on a mission and she will stop at nothing until she achieves her goal. So my next favorite character is Senjo Gahara from the Monogatari series. This is for no particular reason like character development or anything like that. I think she is just a fun character. Of course, that can be said about all the Monogatari characters, but to me, she stands out more than the others. She has all the traits that others display in her series. She is extremely intelligent like Hanakawa, she is resilient and has a more blunt personality like Shinobu, and she is also very athletic like Kanburu. She doesn't have any of these traits as highly as others, and other characters have multiple traits in the story as well, but Senjo Gahara just stands out as one of the better ones to me. Let's face it though, it all comes down to personality. Senjo Gahara doesn't take shit from anybody, and that is mad respectable. She always stands on business and never lets anybody else dictate her actions. She is someone who is unpredictable. You never know how involved she is going to be in certain events, and that always makes her a wild card and a fun character. Plus, her trust and affection for Araragi is also really cool. Senjo Gahara is also someone who pushes the main character to be better, and that is cool because she does that just by being there. She doesn't do anything particularly fancy to make Araragi better himself, and this is what makes her cool. Also, she's just kind of badass sometimes. So next up on the list is a character that most people probably wouldn't be expecting, but she's a personal favorite character in mine. Her name is Erza Scarlet. Erza is one of my favorite characters, period. Her growth and her story just hits so hard. Plus, she is also a badass woman in shonen, which is pretty rare to see in shonen. Erza starts off Fairy Tail as this hard-headed woman who's all about following rules with no exceptions whatsoever. She doesn't tolerate rule breaking and would do whatever she can to stop people who break the rules. But this quickly gets dealt with when Gray confronts her about this and basically tells her that he would rather die than abandon a mission to save some people. His resolve is something that doesn't go unnoticed and changes how Erza views certain things. Her backstory is something that explains a lot about her personality as well. She is someone who has had to deal with way too much tragedy. She has lost so many people and doesn't want to lose anybody else. She works hard and grows stronger so that she can protect those she cares about. But in the beginning, she thinks that sacrificing herself is a good way to protect her friends. But eventually, when Natsu saves her and tells her that she has to live for her friends, not die for them, that's when she starts to change. You can really see that as well. From that point forward, Erza handles fights very differently. She never goes into a fight looking to die. However, she is always brought to the brink. but that is to constantly test her resolve and make sure that she really can protect her friends, which, because she's a badass, she always manages to. One of my all-time favorite Urza moments is in the Grand Magic Games when she is going to the tower game. All she has to do is take on 51 monsters to win, but in order to show everyone that the Fairy Tail Guild is still the strongest and to show her friends that their 7 years of suffering weren't in vain, she takes on all 100 monsters in that tower and wins. It is not only a badass moment, but it also shows what kind of person Urza is. She doesn't let anybody get away with spitting on her friends, and she will constantly show the world why the Fairy Tail Guild is on top. Urza is one of the best written female characters in anime, and I don't care what anybody says. And my number one favorite female character in anime is Nagisa Furukawa from Clannad. Now, that should not be shocking to anybody who has been on the channel for a little while. Clannad is my favorite anime, so it comes as no surprise that the heroine of that story is also my favorite. For Nagisa, it is a way more personal thing than for any other character. I've already talked in depth about Clannad and Nagisa on this channel, and so there really isn't much more to say. One thing I will say though is that one guy who commented shit in the past. Yes, I know I say her name wrong, I don't care. I've only ever watched the dub for Clannad, and that's how all the characters say it in the show. But yeah, Nagisa is a very personal character for me, and is the first character I felt that connection for in any form of fiction, and that's why she is still always ranking very highly on any list. I can't say 100% sure that she will always be my number one, but she will always be up there at the very least. Alright, so that was my list of my favorite female characters in anime. My list is probably pretty weird to some, but honestly, I don't care. We all have our own opinions on characters, and different characters impact people in different ways, so everyone's lists are going to be different. So yeah, that was the video. If you liked it, maybe think about dropping a like, and subscribing as well. It helps out a ton, and if you do decide to join the community, then I guess I'll see you next week with another video. Bye!